So it's BE8. BE8-5 on page 440. So give you a minute to find the question. How do you guys find the course so far? Is this pretty simple? Too hard?
I'm enjoying it.
Okay, good, awesome. Thank you, Ruben. Anybody else?
Yeah, I like it too. I find that once I get it, it becomes fun.
Okay, awesome. Challenging but fun. Okay, thank you, Connor. Thank you, Mario. So if you want to learn accounting, the practicing is really important. So make sure you take some time to practice on questions by yourself, okay? Before you see the answers, before you watch those videos. So just do the questions on your own. Treat it as if you are in the exam, right? You have no other resources to help you. So then try to do it by yourself, and then you can compare your answer against the tutorial videos or the solution, right? And in that way, you learn, okay, so what you have missed, right, when you are in your thinking process, right? So when you do a couple questions, okay, you have formed quite a network in your, like a neural path, right, in your brain. What are the things, what are the logics, what are the steps, right? That path can be only reinforced after you practice, right? If you just listen to me, watch videos, that doesn't help, right? And you have to do it, right? You have to go from A to Z, right? From step 1 to step 3. You just have to do it, everything by yourself, to own it. Otherwise, you understand it when you listen to other people, but you can never do it by yourself, right? So make sure you practice. So this one, page 440, BE8-5. So the question is, at June 30th, okay, the company prepared the following aging schedule. Number of days outstanding, accounts receivable balance, estimated percentage uncollectible, and total estimate uncollectible. So I'm gonna copy that table. So the first row, the first column is number of days outstanding. So they have 0 to 45 days, 46 to 90 days, over 90 days. So this, and then they have a total, right? So basically, you can subdivide your accounts receivable into different aging groups, right? So just for example, you are a group, right? I can subdivide you into different aging groups, right? 16 students go to this group. Anyone is 16 years old? And then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, right? So I can divide you into different subgroups, right? Based on your age, right? So this is the same idea. Depending on the number of the days outstanding of the AR, this is the different age groups, okay? So this is what happened, okay? So when we do business, okay, if I sell something to a customer, okay, the customer does not always have the cash to pay me right away, okay? Well, if they have a cash, they pay me right away, right? My journal entry would be, let's say, in a real superstore, right? Let's say superstore sold a can of maybe like what it would be, a can of fish, right, for $10, which cost superstore $5. Okay, So Superstore sold a can of fish for $10, but this cost the Superstore $5. Okay, so what's your journal entry? So you receive cash, you debit cash for $5, and you credit the sales for $5. In the same time, you want to recognize your cost of sales, debit the cost of goods sold. So that's, oh, sorry, this is 10. Sorry, I said it the wrong way. So $5, and then you credit inventory for $5. So that'll be your general entry, right? If they pay with the cash. But let's say this client does not have the cash now, but the client will pay you later, right? So therefore here, instead of cash, you debit accounts receivable, right? So what is accounts receivable? This is the balance that your customers owes the company, okay? You are expecting to collect this AR within the near future, right? You can convert this AR into cash in the near future, right? Okay, but sometimes it became uncollectible, okay? For different reasons, right? Because this customer bankrupted, okay? If the customer bankrupted, right, he has to go through the legal process. He owed money to other people's, right? So then there are some process called a trustee, right? Trustee, bankruptcy trustee. So then the trustee will take over the whole thing and make the decision that who gets the money first. So if you are in the lower priority, so you probably ended up with receiving no money, right? Because the other debtors maybe will claim the money first, right? So therefore, it's possible that you may not collect the money, right? There is always this risk. Okay, there's always this risk. So here we know that accounts receivable balance. So for 0 to 45 days, okay, so if you count from the invoice date, if you count it from the invoice date until now, if it's within 45 days, that belongs to this category. So all the balance is 726,000. Okay, and then outstanding for 46 to 90 days, 248,000. Over 90 days, 112,000. Okay, and the total will be just add them together. Okay, so 108. Sorry, this looks weird. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so you can see that the total accounts receivable balance is actually 1.086 million. Okay, but if you put them into different aging group, okay, you can see that's how the balance for each age group. Okay, and it's add up to be this balance. Okay, so now, like I said, there is always this risk that the AR will not be collected, right? So then you want to estimate. Percentage of uncollectible. So percentage of uncollectible, okay? Let me ask you a question. Okay, you can see that this is a relatively younger age group. This is older age group, right? Which group will have the highest percentage of uncollectible in your estimation?
The oldest group.
The oldest, right? Okay, the fact that you are not able to collect it within 90 days, it already says something, right? If it's collectible, easier to collect, you should be able to collect it within 90 days, right? But the fact that it has been delayed more than 90 days, it just tells me that this group have the highest risk of becoming uncollectible, right? So in this question is 20%. And of course, the most recent AR would have the lowest risk, right? The most recent AR would have the lowest risk. In this question, that's gonna be, oh no, sorry. This is 16, right? So this is 2%. And this one in the middle is 5%, okay? So basically, based on my experience, okay, I know that 2% of this age group is going to become uncollectible. And the 5% for this age group will become uncollectible. And the 16% for this over 90 days will become uncollectible. So let's calculate the expected uncollectible balance. So that will be total estimated uncollectible amount. So now I know the estimated percentage, the rate of uncollectible. Now I want to see the dollar amount, okay? So I'm going to use the percentage of uncollectible times the balance for that age group, okay? Okay, so that age group between 0 to 45 days, okay, has a balance of 726,000, and we estimate 2% of that balance will become uncollectible. So therefore, I estimated 14,520 would become uncollectible. That's the dollar amount, okay? So now I'm just doing the same thing, right? Now I calculate, okay? For the second age group, I use 248,000 times 5%, okay? And for this last group, I use 112,000 times 16%, okay? So you can see that now I have the total estimated uncollectible amount for each age group. So for total, I'm just gonna add them up. Okay, I add them up. So 44,840. So that's the uncollectible amount I estimated out of this 1,086,000. Okay. Okay, so now let's prepare adjusting journal entries to record bad debt expenses. Okay. Assuming the doubtful account have a credit balance of this. Okay, so here, allowance for doubtful account, allowance for doubtful account. Okay, let's use T account. Let's do a T account. So do a T account here. Okay. So this is a T account. So this question A tells me that assuming the allowance for doubtful account had a credit balance of 13175. This is the opening balance. Okay, opening balance. Okay, and what's the ending balance? Can anyone tell me what's the ending balance? What's the ending balance? On June 30th, what is the allowance for doubtful account on June 30th? What's the ending balance?
$8,920. Is that from like part B?
Part B, yeah.
Yes.
What's
Yeah.
the number? Sorry.
So 8,920.
809,000.
8,920.
920. I don't know how you get that number.
That's just what it says on B. I thought that's what
Oh,
we're looking
on
at.
B, A and
Oh,
B are independent.
Oh, okay.
That's two scenarios. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the opening for A, the opening is 13175. What is the ending? What's the ending balance for loss for doubtful count?
Is that the 44,840?
Yeah, very good. So that's what we calculated. Right? These numbers, all these numbers, this is on June 30th, right? So this balance is on June 30th, and this is the estimation on June 30th. So here are those doubtful amounts, right? These are the doubtful amount on June 30th. Okay, so that's your ending balance. What do you need here? So I need. So I need credit for this amount, right? Right? So from here from the opening to the ending, the difference is my additional credit. So I need a credit allowance for doubtful account for this amount, right? Because I start with this opening balance and I know my ending number, okay? So in order to bring from the opening to the ending, that's the adjustment I have to make. So I have to credit 665. What do I debit? What do I debit?
The 44,840.
So this journal entry, remember the total debit has to equal total credit. So right now I'm crediting 31,665. So I will debit for the same amount.
Okay.
Yeah. So which account am I debiting? Is this an expenses account?
Just bad debt expense.
Yeah. So this is an expenses account, bad debt expense, right? So we are saying that the bad debt has increased, right? So in the year, okay, your doubtful account has increased by 31,665. This is will be your expenses, right? This is if you have more, your balance increased, so you have more amount, you have more balance to be uncollectible, right? So that's bad. That's your bad debt expenses, right, for this amount. Does this make sense? Can I help anyone to explain more about this whole process? So you first calculate the ending balance of the allowance for doubtful account, okay? So in the question, they probably will give you opening balance, okay? So then you take the difference to figure out what's the adjustment. In this case, you need a credit 31,665. Okay, therefore you have to debit by that for 31,665. Okay, so you just know this entry first, and then this entry will be the offset. Okay, so calculate this number first, and then use T account to figure out your adjustment. Okay, and then you can write down the adjusting entry for the adjustment to the allowance for doubtful account. The bad debt expenses journal entry would be the offset. Okay, so if you are credit doubtful account, then you debit by that. If you debit allowance for doubtful account, you credit by that expense. Okay, so this one is the loose end, right? This one is just the offset. And this one is figured out by the T account. Does this make sense?
Yep.
So I'm just going to show you the logic, right? How this logic flows. Step 3 and step 4. Okay, so step 1, calculating the ending balance for the allowance for doubtful account. Step 2, just to know what the adjustment is made to the allowance for doubtful account. And step 3, translating this adjustment into a accounting journal entry. And last, step 4, you offsetting the journal entry you made for step 3. If you think this makes sense, give me a sum up. I can move on. Otherwise, I have to make sure you understand. There are 5 students didn't sum up. So if you still confused, please let me know, okay? I'm not sure if you are maybe just not by the computer or so if you have other questions, make sure you let me know, okay? So let's take a look at the B, right? Let's take a look at the B. So again, same question, but have a different. This is A. This is a B, right? This is a B. So in this question, so they assume the doubtful allowance for doubtful account had a debit balance of 8920. Okay, so here 8920 debit balance. So that's the opening. Okay. And what's my ending? The same, right? The same question. So my ending balance is this. Okay. But the difference of B from A is the opening balance. So in the A, the opening balance is 13,175 credit balance. For B, it's an opening debit balance. Okay, 8920. Okay. So now step 1, we know this balance. What's step 2? Step 2 is my adjustment. Okay. From here to here, what is the adjustment? Do I need a credit? First of all, tell me, do you need a credit or debit from here to here?
Would that be debit?
Need a debit. So suppose you need a debit 1,000. Okay. So debit plus debit, you would end up with a debit balance, right? Does that make sense? If you debit to this account, so you have opening debit plus debit, together you're going to end up with a debit balance, right? But we know that we have a credit balance, right? So we can debit. So we have a credit here. So we are crediting for how much? From here to here. How much should I credit?
The difference between the
difference between these two?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are saying that's going to be 44,840 minus 8920 for this amount?
No, probably by adding it. Actually, I'm not too sure.
Okay, by adding it, right? You are right. You add it. Okay, you are adding it. That's absolutely right. So this is amount. Okay, so why? Okay, remember here I just use ending, subtract this credit balance, right? But here it's a debit balance. So you subtract a minus. So 2 minus equals a plus. Okay. So first, okay, you want to make this to be a zero balance, right? So there will be 98, 20, 20. So if you do this, now it's a 0, right? This canceled out. Your balance is 0. And then you have this one, 44480. So in total, these two together, that's 53,760. Okay. So again, the first 890, okay, 20, make it to be a zero balance. And the remaining 44840, give it the ending balance. Right? Does that make sense? Then the next step would be this, right? Would be this. So here, that's your balance. And this equals the same. Let me ask you a question, okay? This will be easy, okay? Suppose the temperature, okay? The temperature this morning is 1 degree, okay? Celsius degree. At noon, the temperature is 10 degree, okay, Celsius. What's the change in temperature? How do you calculate that?
Well, you take the 10 degree and subtract it by the 1 degree. So it would be a change of 9 degrees then.
Thank you. Very good. Okay, very good. So that's a 9 degree. That's easy, right? So let ask you this question. In this morning, okay, the temperature is -1 degree. So it's 1 degree below, okay? 1 degree below. And at noon, the temperature is 10 degree, okay? What's the change in temperature?
11 degrees.
11. So you have to use 10 minus -1, right? Is that right? You use 10 minus -1, right?
No.
So two
Wait,
negative is a positive. So that's 11.
A quick question.
Yeah.
Wouldn't 10 minus -1 be positive? Oh, no. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
My bad.
If you have 2 negative, that means it's a positive, right? 2 negative gives you a positive. So 10 minus -1, so that's equals 10 plus 1. So that's 11, okay? So that's kind of similar to this scenario. So this one, when you do this calculation, okay, it's kind of like 10 minus 1, right? Because these two numbers are both credit balance, like both above 0, right? They both above 0. They are credit balance. For this one, look at this one. These numbers is credit balance. You can think that as above 0, but this number is debit balance, kind of like on the other side, right? Below 0. So this one is a negative, right? This number is a negative. This number is positive, okay? Does that make sense? So just for you to understand why, okay, this number, you use this minus this. But when you calculate this number for B, you use this plus this, right? Okay, you know why, right? Just think about this example, right? In the morning, 1 degree go to 10 degree, right? The difference is 9 degree, right? But in the morning, if it's negative 1 degree below, okay, then it's gonna take more change. It's 11 degree. You can see here, more adjustment here, right? More adjustment for B than for A, right? Because this number is deeper. This number is deeper, right? If you think that way, right? If you think credit as above 0 or the credit as above 0, then debit is the below, right? It's deeper, right? So it's take more adjustment if it's deeper. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
in the exam, make sure you understand this, right? The exams may ask you questions like this. So make sure you understand. And the opening balance, whether it's a debit or credit, that matters, right? Right? Ruben?
Yeah.
You have a question?
No, sorry.
No? Okay. Okay, so if you understand, please sum up. I can move on. Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, so this is the question for BE8-5. Okay. So now, okay, now let's go to our course website. So on our course website, under module 7, you will find this lecture 15 handout question, this PDF. So you click this PDF, okay? So on the Moodle website, under module 7, there is this lecture 15 handout question. So click this question. So this question is about, okay, this question is about a company, okay? So this company is entering its 4th year of business, has grown so quickly that management has not had time to implement proper accounting policies. You are the newest employee at the company, the first ever accountant on staff, okay? The CEO asks you to start by looking at their accounts receivable and past collection issues, and recommend an appropriate method of calculating an allowance for bad debts. She tells you that this information will help her make decisions about the credit granting to current and future customers, which has a direct impact on the company's bottom line. To date, the company has only recorded bad debt expenses, write-offs, when they know for sure, okay, that a customer won't pay, usually because they are out of business. Today, the company's customers owe the company $174,500 from sales that had occurred over the last 6 months. There are no accounts older than 6 months, but some are getting close to that. The CEO has grouped the customer's accounts according to how long the account has been outstanding, rather than by customer. So you can see the different age groups. Okay, there are 5 age groups. Okay, so 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and over 4 months. Okay, and you know the balance for each group, and the total is $174,500. Okay, the following information relates to collection history and bad debt expense over the last 3 years. So you have some history records, right? Percentage of accounts that ended up being written off based on their age. Okay, so this year is 2020, right? But you do have the actual information from the last 3 years, right? You know, right, in the history, what's the percentage of the write-off rate, right? Those those accounts are actually ended up being uncollectible. Okay. So 2017, 18, 19, you can see these numbers. So horizontally, it's going up. You understand that, right? For a specific year, okay, when the accounts gets older, if the balance are all, are outstanding for longer, the percentage of write-off is going up, right? It's going up. So you can see that it's the same, right, for every year, okay? And then if you compare 2017 and 2019, you realize that, the 2019's number is slightly higher, right? If you compare each column. If you take a look at 2018's number, these numbers are too much off compared to the other years. For example, for the first category, 0 to 30 days, for 2017 is 2%. 2019 is only 1% higher, 3%. But 2018 is 8%, right? So then we have a note here. In the last half of the 2018, there was a massive economic downturn that hit beverage retailers especially hard. So there is this economic event, right? Downturn, really affect the beverage retailers. So therefore, the company may not be able to collect this AR. So the default rate is very high in 2018. You understand now, right? Why in 2018 these default rates are much higher compared to the other 2 years. It's due to a unique economic downturn. It happened in the last half of the year, right? Okay, so you have all this information, okay? Here is my question for you, okay? How do you choose? Okay, I'm going to send this. I'm going to send this question to the chat. Okay. How would you choose a percentage of uncollectible for current year? Okay, that's my first question. Okay, why did you choose the percentage? That's my second question. Okay, and third question would be, would the most conservative percentage is going, would the most conservative percentage be the most accurate? The most conservative. So I have 3 questions for you. First, how would you choose a percentage of uncollectible? Because for current year, you need to do this calculation. How would you choose a percentage, okay, of uncollectible for current year? And why did you choose it? And would the most conservative be the most accurate? Okay, so I'm going to send you into different breakout room. Okay, how many students do we have? Okay, so 14. I'm going to send you into 3 groups. Okay, 3 groups. Breakout room. So I'm going to randomly assign you to 3 breakout rooms. You guys will talk about these questions, okay? And then when you come back, we'll discuss on this, okay?